Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi there. I'm Stacy with Masterpiece Jewelers in Daytona Beach, Florida. And tonight we are doing a very special live presentation. This presentation is called Our Top 10 Shocking Jewelry Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. Now, Tracy and I, my sister and the co-owner of Masterpiece Jewelers for over 30 years, we go out into our community and do lots of different public speaking events for clubs, organizations, charities, homeowners associations. No group is too small or too big, and we love to be able to share all the little tidbits that we have learned over the many years that we have been in business. And yes, I did say 30 years. That is amazing to me. So we thought we would do actually a live streaming presentation of some of these special tips that we have. And this one is our top 10 shocking jewelry mistakes and how to avoid them. Sometimes I call this one shocking jewelry no-nos and how to avoid them. But in any case, we are all going to learn together tonight some things that you may not know. And at least I hope that you don't know them, because I'm hoping that I'm going to wow you with all of the information we shared tonight. And I am so appreciative of the folks that are on already. And we're going to be having, as we do every time we have a live stream, which by the way is every Wednesday and Thursday for the last 400 plus episodes, and that is we're going to be giving away something. So let's go ahead and go over to my artwork here to show you what we will be giving away tonight. Very quickly, we are going to be giving away this lovely black cubic zirconia sterling silver necklace valued at $100. Now, the way that you can be registered to win tonight is, first of all, to share this Facebook Live right now to your Facebook feed, and then comment shared in the comments section. That way we will get you entered into tonight's drawing. Now, you can also tag your Facebook friends, and you'll get one entry for each friend that you tag, up to 10 additional people. It's just that easy. And yes, we'll be giving it away right before the end of the show, because we love to give away things. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, just to let you know, Tracy and I are sisters and best friends, and we have been jewelry experts for over 30 years. We have a brick and mortar store here in Daytona Beach called Masterpiece Jewelers, and it's right on Bevel Road, right by the Publix grocery store. Now, if you are outside of our area, you can also go to our website, tracyandstacy.com, or of course to our Facebook page, and you may be on the Facebook page right now. And make sure to subscribe, join, follow, any of the above, so that you can know what is happening with us. Now, Tracy and I both are graduates from the Daytona Beach area, and we both have, one of us has a bachelor's of business administration from Stetson University. That's me. And my sister Tracy has a bachelor's of science from Florida State University. So all that being said, they don't have university degrees for the jewelry business, but here we are 30 years later, and so happy to be doing it. Now, I hope tonight that we can help you to not do some of the things that we have seen in the past, or that we ourselves have done. One of our jobs as your jeweler is to protect your jewelry, and we do that in many ways, some of which I'll be mentioning tonight. Now, this will be a who knows, I can just go on and on, but I think this will be 30 minutes or less. We will have time for questions and answers at the end. And I would be glad to answer them for you right here live on our live stream. And I say at the end because the chat moves very quickly sometimes. And so it's important for you to do them at the end so that I can read them all, because scrolling back is sometimes not an option. Now, I am not sure if any of you can brag like I can, but I want you to know that I can still wear the same earrings I did in high school. I fit into those, and I'm very proud of that. So we're going to talk about the top 10 shocking mistakes, jewelry mistakes, and how to avoid them. And I'm going to start right out of the gate with one of the number one jewelry mistakes. And in fact, Teresa, our store manager just today, was warning one of our clients about this. And so I hope you also find this helpful. We go through so much trying to make sure that our homes are safe. We have burglar alarms. Of course, we have Ring doorbells. We have safes or lock boxes. We hide our jewelry. We have burglar alarms to set off if we are not home. But in fact, after all of the millions or even billions of dollars that go into those safeguards, in fact, it is a lowly Kleenex that I feel is the number one burglar of jewelry. I don't have any statistics for this, but I know it from my own jewelry store. And that the way that this happens is that humans cannot stand a Kleenex that looks like it has been used. So in one situation, we had a lady who cleaned all of her jewelry and then put it in a Kleenex to dry and set it on her chest of drawers in her bedroom. Couple days later, she went to get something on to try it on to wear for the day, and all the jewelry was gone, and so was the Kleenex that it was tucked into. It turned out that her husband had actually taken the Kleenex and thrown it in the trash. And then, of course, the trash, as it will be, was emptied, and the trash was all the way at the landfill at that point. That's because humans cannot stand a Kleenex that looks like it's been used. And as soon as her husband saw that Kleenex, he pitched it in the trash. This is not a single situation. We have heard this a number of times over and over again. And one of the ways that you might find yourself in the situation where you may use tissue or Kleenex and put your jewelry in it is, say, for example, if you went to get an MRI or another test where they maybe they warned you ahead of time, but if you, like me, may not have remembered, you have to take your jewelry off in order to have the test. Well, what people often do is they get a piece of Kleenex because that's so soft and will, in theory, protect their jewelry, and they'll wrap it in the Kleenex and put it in the bottom of their purse. Later on, of course, you're leaving the test. You're probably not thinking, oh, I've got to get all my jewelry back on. This is my number one priority right now. And so later, a couple of days later, whenever you go to clean your purse out, and sure enough, you pitch out all of the tissues that are in the bottom. And of course, you would never think that your jewelry was in it. Why would it be? But sure enough, it can be lost that way as well. Now, in order to make sure that doesn't happen to you, one of the things that I recommend is when you find yourself in a situation where you have to take your jewelry off for some reason, instead of putting it in a tissue, take your wallet and open up your coin purse. Now dump all of your coins into the bottom of your actual purse, which is where most of them are in my purse anyway. And then um, put your jewelry in that coin purse area. Now, one of the reasons, there's a couple reasons why this is good. One of them is because sooner or later you're going to look into that coin uh, purse, even if it's not until you go to donate it. You know, whenever, if we donate a wallet or a purse, we're going to check all of the little areas and then you'll come across your jewelry. In any case, please, if you would, tell your friends and family members, do not use tissue in any way to wrap up their jewelry, because that is, at least in my belief, the number one burglar of jewelry. Now, number two is not having your prongs checked. Now, your prongs are the pieces of metal that hold in your diamonds. And it's very easy to not even think about this. A lot of times when people buy jewelry, no one mentions to them, now, you know, you should have your prongs checked every once in a while to make sure that your diamond is securely in there. And this is one of the pieces of jewelry that we wear day in and day out. So if we're doing, if we're doing our washing up our dishes, or if we are sorting laundry or carrying in Publix bags, any of those things can cause your prongs to get moved to the side or actually break off. Even more importantly, over time, your prongs can get worn smooth. And so my sister and I have a real passion for checking customers' prongs, and we developed this passion when maybe 15 years ago, one of our regular customers came in to get a watch battery. We changed their watch battery. They went on their merry way. A few hours later, they contacted us. They called us and asked if we had found their diamond. We hadn't, and we looked around for it, no such luck. And we asked them to come in and and have us take a look at what happened. How did they lose that diamond? Well, when they came in, we could see that their prongs were completely worn down, absolutely worn down, foiled, as we might call it. Almost like that piece of metal, the little ball or bead of metal that was holding in your diamond over the years has worn down to flat. That is what had happened with hers. And as a result, the diamond just slid right out the side. And not only is the day you lose a diamond, one of your worst days, but also in the case of this lady, this was one of two diamonds that she had in this ring. They were earrings that her mother-in-law had given her to wear in this ring and then to pass down to the first granddaughter. So not only had she lost a diamond, but she lost an heirloom. Tracy and I were really touched by this, and we started this passionate prong checking, which we still do to this day. And that's why a shocking jewelry mistake is that no one has told you to have your prongs checked. Now, we do it absolutely free at Masterpiece Jewelers. You just come in the store and we will clean your ring and check your prongs. And then you can go out on your merry way knowing that you have peace of mind that all of your diamonds, or just your one diamond, whatever your ring might look like, are all in place and safe. Just yesterday, we had a customer come in who brought in her ring for another issue that she was having, and we have a policy of cleaning and checking, asking to clean and check anyone's rings when they come into the store. And so this lady, one of our staff, checked her prongs, and sure enough, she had a very large diamond, 4 prongs on it, and one of the prongs was completely sheared off. that diamond could have slid out the side at any time. And in the case of that diamond, it also is an heirloom in their family. So it is easy enough to do to check it. And when you do so, you're assured that you are protecting your jewelry and that you don't have to worry like you may, because it gives you peace of mind. You don't have to make an appointment. Just park right at our door, come on in, and we'll be glad to check your prongs and clean your ring. Now, our industry says that you should do so every 6 months, but life goes by quickly, and 6 months becomes a year, becomes 2 years, etc. So we have made up the saying, change your clocks, check your prongs. So whenever you leap, spring forward or fall back, that is when you want to have your prongs checked. So that is a way that you can protect your jewelry and avoid a jewelry mistake. Now, number 3 is having an out-of-date appraisal. This is pretty simple, and I just want to let you know that if your appraisals are more than 10 years old, for goodness sake, they need to be reviewed. Gold has gone up a lot in the last 10 years, and that means that your appraisal could be undervalued. And I know this is boring and all of that, but it's really very important, because if by chance you lose a piece and you have it undervalued, you're not going to get enough to make it right or make you whole again, as they say. So you want to make sure that you have your appraisals checked and, if needed, updated, so that you are protecting yourself and you know that you have peace of mind. Very importantly, this is something people don't even think about. A lot of times, once you get your wedding set, for example, you get the appraisal, send it to the insurance company, tuck it in the safe deposit box, and that's it. But in the last 2 decades, gold has gone up and up, and it's really a good time to have your appraisals just reviewed. They don't have to be changed. They just need to be reviewed. We do that absolutely free at Masterpiece Jewelers, and we would love to help you with that. In many cases, you don't have to have them redone at all, but just have the assurance of knowing that your appraisal is up to date. Now, number 4 is using perfume or hairspray. That's not the mistake, right? I mean, we all use perfume and hairspray, but it's very important to get into the habit, if you would like, of putting on your jewelry as the last thing that you put on before you leave the house and the first thing you take off when you come home. And the reason for that is because hairspray and perfume, lotions, anything that we use like that is really a chemical. And so that can, believe it or not, discolor your gold, and it can definitely dull your pearls, and in some cases make them impossible to clean and bring back the luster. No one tells you this, when you buy these things, but it's important to know that that it's just a simple little habit to get into to protect your jewelry. And if you make sure that they are the last thing to go on, you are much more likely to keep them nice and gleaming, because isn't that the whole point of it, right? That's why I wear jewelry, is to sparkle. So, all right. Next up, number 5 is not knowing what you own. So important. Several years ago, we have lots and lots of stories of this, but several years ago we had, I was working at the store and a lady came in with a ring, and she asked me to clean it. And the metal was very discolored, and there was lots of soap and lotion under the stone. It really needed cleaning. And so I cleaned it and it looked fantastic. Gave it back to her. And like people often do, she said to me, like, could you tell me how much this is worth? And I looked at it and it was 18 karat gold and it was an aquamarine. So I said, well, around $900. And she said, oh my gosh, I just got it at a yard sale. And while I'm processing that, she says, I spent only $1 and I have to go back. And I was like, that is so sweet. And she said they had more rings. And this really was so disturbing to me. For days, I thought about this afterward because the state that the ring was in showed me that this was one of the person who owned its favorite rings. It had that soap and lotion. You know that a person is enjoying and wearing their jewelry daily when that is the case. And so whoever was having this estate sale, they had lost an heirloom, an important heirloom in their family because they didn't know what they owned. So we started, my sister Tracy and I, something we call the free 1-hour jewelry evaluation. And we do that to this day. I did one today actually in the store. And this is where we will go through everything you have and let you know if it is collectible, if it is real, if it's costume jewelry, or if it's collectible. And some of the reasons you would need this service is if you have just inherited jewelry, or maybe not just inherited, it could be 5 years ago, or perhaps you're thinking about doing something with your jewelry and you don't necessarily know what's in your own jewelry box. I mean, heavens, we know that we go to, white elephant sales and garage sales, and people give us gifts, and we've been to the Caribbean, and we don't know what necessarily is real and what isn't. But mostly it's for inheritance purposes. And it is so important to make sure that you know what you own before you make any decisions on it. And so we tell you when you call for an appointment, we tell you to bring it all, to bring everything. Don't leave anything at home. And that is because 95% of the time, no exaggeration, we find things in the jewelry that people themselves thought were costume jewelry. And we do not want that to happen to you because the jewelry vultures, the people who come to your house 2 hours before you're getting ready to have an estate sale or garage sale, those folks come 2 hours early, knocking on your door and asking if you have jewelry. And those people are hoping that you don't know what you have. And if you think to yourself, well, how many times could that happen? How many times? Well, they get up every single weekend very early in the morning and go out and do this. And no human being is going to do that unless they have found it profitable and a regular occurrence. So if you have inherited jewelry and you'd like to know what you own, we would love to sit down with you. And whether you have a whole jewelry box, whether you have just a few pouches, or whether, like one lady that I had who brought her mother's 3 jewelry boxes, no matter what, we will go through and make sure you know what you own. So just call and ask for a free jewelry evaluation appointment, and we'll be glad to give it to you. You'll see our phone number on the, right-hand side. And so you can call or text us for that appointment. All right, next up, number 6, I should have numbered these so I'd know. Number 6 is letting someone who knows about jewelry help you go through your jewelry. And this is another situation where maybe a person has inherited jewelry, or they're going through their own maybe big jewelry collection that's where they've collected both, costume jewelry and real jewelry on and off through their whole lives. Almost all of us have a friend who knows about jewelry. And I put it like that, not with any bad feelings toward it. These are always people who want to be helpful, so helpful. But often they really don't know what you need to know about jewelry. They don't know that real gold can tarnish. They don't know that you don't rub pearls on your teeth to tell if they're real or not. And they don't know that if something doesn't have a carat mark on it, that it still could be real. Just very recently, Tracy sat down with a gentleman who was doing one of our free jewelry evaluations and interested in selling what he had there. And as they were talking, he mentioned that his neighbor had come over and helped him go through his wife's things and put aside the things that they knew for sure were not real, so that they wouldn't burden us so he wouldn't burden us by bringing too many things in. That is lovely. And we hear that a lot, which is why when you call to make an appointment, we tell you to bring it all in. So anyway, my sister Tracy said to him, while they were going through the things that he did bring, she said, if you don't mind, why don't you bring that in and I can go through it very quickly. Let's just make sure there's nothing real in there. And so he said, all right, I'll bring it by tomorrow. Well, what he brought in, he actually got a bigger check from the things that were supposedly not real than he got for the check of the things that they brought in that were real. So imagine if they had donated those things, or, God forbid, pitched them out in the trash and lost all that money. So please make sure that you have a professional go through your things. Very important, because we don't want to hear these stories. It breaks our heart. Like I said earlier, we are here to protect your jewelry. And so one of those ways is to make sure you know what you own. All right. Number 7 is saving all of your jewelry for your heirs. Now, you might say to yourself, well, why wouldn't I do that? I love my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. I want them to have my jewelry. If you've talked to them recently, or even your children for that matter, your grown children, you will learn that they don't want to inherit all of your jewelry. They do not want to inherit your china or your flatware. And how do I know? Well, we have heard over and over again that the next generations are saying, we don't want all that stuff. We are more minimalists, and they will tell that right to our face too. It's a little painful for that honesty. But what's important to know is for you to find out from them if that is what they want. Now, we're not talking about sentimental pieces. We're not talking about the pieces they love. But if you are keeping everything in your jewelry box for them, that could be a mistake, because if you have things in there that you're not wearing, or maybe are broken, or you just have one earring, or you haven't worn in 20 years, or you inherited and it's just not your style, any of those things, you can set up an appointment to bring those things in, and we will buy or trade with you. And then you can get a check and use that money. It's amazing what gold is worth right now. You can use that money for cruises, for I almost said traveling. Isn't that the same thing? But well, it isn't. A different kind of traveling. For remodeling, for a shopping spree, any of the above. And these are pieces that are in your home that you're not using and they are not going to be passed down. Go ahead and turn that into cash that you can use. And note that the younger people, most likely, and please check with them, do not want to inherit everything. They don't want that burden. And if you have been through dealing with the estate of a loved one, a mother or a father, etc., you know that no matter how much you love that person, that is one of the most difficult life experiences you go through. So, going through and looking to see what you have in your jewelry box that you are not wearing and that you could turn into cash or trade it for something you will wear, that just makes sense. It is a mistake to leave it just sitting in there doing nothing. All right. Next up, number 8, I hope, is to wear your jewelry, your gold jewelry, in the swimming pool. Now, of course, our store is located in Daytona Beach, Florida. And so there are a lot of chlorinated swimming pools here, especially when you're using a public swimming pool. And when I say public, it could be your condominium swimming pool or anywhere where a lot of people are using the pool. There is a lot of chlorine involved there, and gold breaks down over time with chlorine. Now, you might say to yourself, well, I've been wearing my wedding set into the pool 3 times a week for the last, 10 years or whatever. But you just never know when the porosity, when that has actually affected it enough to break down the gold. You may not see it, but it can happen. And, if you're wearing it into the pool, it certainly is one of your favorite pieces. Otherwise, you would not have it on 24/7. So it's very important, if you can, if you're willing to take your gold jewelry off before you go in the pool if it is very chlorinated. All right. Number 9, rubbing pearls against your teeth. This is a mistake. Well, first of all, I think we should all decide that we're not going to put jewelry of any kind in our mouths to test if it's real. But the pearl, this particular pearl test, if we can call it that, which shows up on the internet over and over and over again, is not accurate at all. The myth is that if you rub it against your teeth and you feel that it's gritty, then you look online and some of them say that shows that it's real pearls. Others say that shows that it's not real pearls. So that test is not a test at all. That is an old wives' tale. It is nearly impossible to find out if your pearls are real at your home. You need to bring them to a professional who can tell you. And sometimes fake pearls can look very, very real. And sometimes real pearls can look very not real, especially if the silk cording has broken down or not soap, but lotions or hairsprays have gotten on the surface of the pearls. And you don't want to be, once again, donating your family's heirloom pearls to the thrift shop because you don't know which strands are real and which aren't. This happens so often, and all it takes is just popping into our jewelry store, and we are glad to just take a look at them and determine whether they're real or not. Then you can go with a happy heart and do whatever you would like to with those pearls. Now, the number 10 shocking jewelry mistakes and how to avoid them is by not reading this little booklet that my sister Tracy and I have written. It's called 5 Things You Should Never Do When You Inherit Jewelry. And it is a very important read. Now, it's absolutely free. It's a little pamphlet. It is a quick read, but it will help you to avoid mistakes that almost every person makes when they inherit jewelry. And I can tell you, in our family, some of these mistakes were made. So you don't want to miss this important booklet. Now, if you live in the Daytona Beach area, we would love for you to stop by and get a copy. Get a few copies if you would like to give to your friends and family. We have one of our regular clients who said she put this book into the folder with the rest of her estate papers. Now, that's a good move because heaven knows when you are dealing with an estate, between the legal and the financial and the emotional parts of it, I mean, you don't know whether you're coming or going sometimes. So this is a really quick read to protect your jewelry. Now, if you live outside the Daytona Beach area, just drop us a line, either a direct message in Facebook or comment right under this, and we will be glad to send this to you absolutely free of charge. It's that important to Tracy and I hope it will serve to help you and your family as well. All right. Now, so those were our top 10 shocking jewelry mistakes. I am hoping so much that you found them helpful. Let's go ahead and one moment, please, as I go over and draw for our winner tonight. Drum roll, please. And our winner of that black cubic zirconia and sterling silver necklace valued at $100 is Terry Rinko. Terry, congratulations. A round of applause for you. And as you know, because you have been a winner before, which is wonderful, all you need to do is come on in the store and we will take a picture of you under the iconic Masterpiece Jewelers neon sign, which is also celebrating its 30th year this year. Now, were there any questions that any of you would like answered before we wrap this up? And if you could write those questions in the comments section, that would be wonderful. And I just wanted to remind you all that next week, we will be having our live online fine jewelry sale, as we do every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And we'll be giving away this exact ring worth $500, diamonds and gold. And that will be next Wednesday, September 18th. September 19th, my sister will be doing another of her live custom jewelry design alongs. Actually, it will be our live streaming show number 430. That's amazing. And that means that she'll design a piece of jewelry from scratch, right as we all watch and enjoy. Plus, someone will win a sterling necklace valued at $100. Now, let me go ahead and go back up here to see if we had any questions. All right, let's see here. How much are appraisals for insurance purposes? Thank you, Jamie. That is a great question. So, appraisals are $125, and they include photos, color photos, a raised seal original, a copy which you can give to your insurance company, and we keep a digital copy for 5 years. And some folks have found that digital copy quite helpful. So, and it will be me personally who will be doing the appraising of your pieces. All right, next up we have Linda Helm. can you comment on the value of coin silver? Coin silver is a general term. And I'm not exactly sure, Linda, which specifically you're talking about, but coin silver in its exact terminology there is a type of silver that is sometimes used to make jewelry. Another term, vague sort of term for it might be German silver or alpaca or nickel silver. And all three of those, or four really with the coin silver, those do not have much value because they really are not sterling silver. And sterling silver is 92.5% pure silver. And anything above that is considered a precious metal. Now, Linda, if you're asking about, okay, coin silver flatware, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, we do take sterling flatware and sterling service pieces, all of that. We do buy that, but we do not buy anything that is not sterling silver. So coin silver flatware is not something that we would purchase, Linda. There's no way for them to, for the refiners to get the silver out of those pieces, so they don't have a value at this time as far as precious metal goes. Likewise, something that might be plated sterling silver or silver plate, that we also cannot accept for buying. But if it is sterling flatware, sterling serving pieces, etc., we buy all of that, and you actually only have to bring in a few pieces. You don't have to bring in a whole huge set to let us look at it and let us know whether, let us tell you whether or not we would purchase it. Thank you for that question, Linda. That was a great question. And let's see, did I miss anything else? I'm going to scroll back a little bit here. Oh, Irene, thank you so much for your kind comment. I'm so glad that you really appreciated the information tonight. And Melinda, I see that you'd love to have one of our books, and so we will get that to you. I know we're sending something out to you, and I don't know if Teresa has been her usual incredibly confident self and sent that out to you already, but if not, we will include it in your package that is going out to you. So if we have no other questions this evening, I would like to thank you all so much for joining me here tonight. And I hope that you found this helpful and that perhaps we can save even a couple of you from making some of these shocking jewelry mistakes that literally can make you so sad and can literally be easily prevented and avoided. And so until we see you again, either in the store on Friday or Saturday, or next week during our live online fine jewelry sale or our live custom jewelry design along, I remind you to stay sparkly, everyone. Good night.